Angel has been here for a while now. A couple weeks. He was barely able to afford rent in this new world. He remembered his old life, how he worked and what he did. True, it may have been crime, but it was never this bad. He was never in a situation like this.
And, well, it wasn't like he was famous or anything, or even liked by his family, but he was at least somewhat well off back when he was on Earth. But here, no one cared about him, and he needed to find a job quick. Angel would walk out on the streets looking for work. He could do crime again, but it just seemed dangerous, and all these people here had magical powers. He just didn't know what to do. However, someone would see him. His name was Val, and Val had an idea on how to help him.
Val didn't know what it was, but Angel was just different. He felt a certain way about him. Usually once you recruit someone, it's nothing personal. They just do their job and that's it. But for Val, it was just so different. As he looked at Angel, it was like his heart stopped. But Val wasn't going to let that stop him from getting a new recruit. As Val would walk to Angel, he would say, "Hey, you look down on your luck. How about we make a deal?" Angel would look at him and say, "What kind of deal?" Val would simply smirk.
Angel would look at Val and say, "What kind of job are we talking about?" Val would simply look at him up and down and smirk. "Well, you see, I have a very entertaining job for people, if you know what I mean." And Val would imply something. Angel would get the hint, as he would say, I don't know about, come on. Val was about to make him sign a contract, but he couldn't do it. He didn't want to take his soul and make him bound to him. It seemed wrong, but he didn't know why. He'd done this with other people. Why couldn't Val do this? Thoughts were going through his head. He didn't know what to do. As Angel looked and said, "Val, are you alright?" Val would say, "Yeah, it's fine. Just come work with me. If you don't like it, you can stop. I promise." Angel would look and say, "Fine, I need money anyway." "What time?" "Tomorrow. Come in at 10 a.m. sharp." Angel would nod and leave. As Val went back to the Tower of the V's, he would sit down. And he was shocked. He couldn't believe this. How was he feeling this? Angel was just an employee. He wasn't even hired yet. He should have made him sign the contract, but he didn't. Val would just sit there and continue to think. He couldn't explain why he did this. He couldn't explain what was going on. He just sat there on the couch, staring blankly. Vox would walk in and say, "Hey, how do I look? You like this suit? I was thinking about wearing it all the time, Since I can get it tailored and mass-produced, change outfits every day with it, I think it'll look quite good. What do you think?" Val was just staring off in the distance, not even paying attention to Vox. Vox was shocked. Usually when he walks in or talks, Val was interested, but he wasn't even looking at him. Vox would say, Hey, what are you doing?" Val would look at Vox and say, nothing. I found someone who's pretty interesting, who can work for us." "Oh, yeah?" Vox would smile and say, "Are they hot?" Val would say, "You could say that." Usually Val wasn't subtle at all. He was always explaining things in great detail with his attitude and flamboyancy, but he wasn't doing that right now. Vox looked shocked, but he just let it slide. "Well, what's gonna happen? When are they coming in?" "Tomorrow at 10 a.m. That's pretty early." "Yeah, I want to get them settled in first." How settled in do they have to be to make... Val would stop him and say, "It's my call, not yours." Vox would say, "You're being weird." "How so?" "You know so." "Tuh, whatever. I get a new suit and look all good for you. You don't even care," Vox would say, as then he would storm out mad. As Vox stormed off, Val would look at Vox, and for some reason, he wanted to go after him. Usually he didn't care about his temper tantrums, since he had a lot of his own. Val was usually selfish, but for some reason, he didn't feel that way today. He started to care about others, and he started to think about Vox, but even more, he thought about Angel.
as he sat down and thought about him the rest of the night. 10 a.m. would come. As Angel walked into the doors, Val would look and say, you're on time. Let me show you around the studio. Val would start to show Angel around
the studio. As Angel got to know everything, Val was really nice to Angel. And when people were mean to him, he would tell them to stop. It seemed like he cared. Angel just thought he was being polite to try to trick him at first, but it seemed genuine. But he was just clever. Val didn't care about him, obviously. Angel would eventually start his first show on TV, if you know what I mean. And it would go wonderfully, and Val would watch it, enthusiastic, as he felt his heart begin to beat. This wasn't lust, it was love. Val never felt anything like it, except when he was with Vox a couple times. As he watched it, he knew he felt something, and he knew he had to do something about it. As all of these emotions kept swarming on inside Valentino, he just had to do something about it, but he didn't know what. He wasn't himself. A few weeks would pass. As each day, Val would only care more and more and more and more about Angel. As Angel would start to care about Val, Vox would get jealous though, and he would do little things to make them fight. But anytime they fought, they would just laugh right after and hug. And they would even kiss, among, other things. Val was so happy. So was Angel, but Vox wasn't. Vox would get more and more jealous as he liked Val. He loved him. And it hurt seeing Val go out with Angel and not him. One day, Val and Angel would be out on a date. As they left, Vox would get angrier and angrier and angrier as he sat on the couch and began to scream, Why? Doesn't he love me? Vox looked up at the ceiling as he realized what it was. He was jealous. He wanted Val. And Angel didn't look too bad himself, but it was the fact that he wasn't invited. It was the fact that he couldn't have either of them, and they had each other. Vox had no one, as he simply sat down. He felt defeated, alone, by himself, and he realized he may never, ever have someone. As Vox continued to sit down and just look around, sad, Velvet would walk in and say, I heard your little piss baby temper tantrum. Usually it's Val, but he's so happy recently. Everything's changing. What's going on? Vox would look and say, he doesn't love me, as he cried. Velvet would walk up and say, She simply put her hand on his face. Listen, just do a Polly. He obviously cares for you. You guys flirted all the time. And even with Angel, he still looks at you that way. Vox says no, he doesn't. Angel's just too. Velvet simply grabbed him. If you're sad, you're not working hard enough. If you're not working hard enough, we're not getting enough money. Now go do a Polly. Vox would sigh and say, I'll try. As he walked out, he saw Val was enjoying himself, holding Angel's hand and talking to him. And they were both having a great time. As he walked back, he saw Vox. Vox and him weren't having the best relationship. He was getting angrier and angrier each day. Val didn't know why. Well, deep down he did, but he just didn't want to face it. He was scared if he asked him out too. Angel would get scared and walk away. Angel wouldn't be prepared to have a three-way relationship. As Vox walked up to him, Val looked and said, what do you want? As Vox would say, I love you. And Angel's pretty good too. I was thinking we could all date each other. Val would say, I would like that, but I don't know about Angel. Angel would smile and say, you're both hotties. Of course I would date you two. He would then kiss them both as they all held hands. Vox, Valentino, and Angel would have an open, polyamorous relationship, and they all enjoyed each other and had fun. And that's all that mattered. Each one loved each other more than anything. And as the days passed, eventually a hotel would open, but Angel wouldn't go to it. Why would he want to be redeemed into heaven when he was already felt like he was in heaven with Vox and Valentino? And that's going to leave things off. Now you might be saying, why was it no action? Well, I guess there was technically action, just not like the fighting kind. Well, the whole point of that what if was
to see what would happen if, you know, he actually cared about Angel and if he was actually kind of a good guy. And he liked Vox too, so I decided to throw in a poly relationship since I am Polly and Pan. Yep, coming out on a thank you. I wonder what these comments will look like. Oh god. They might get really upset with me, but yeah. Which is funny, because the comment was like, you're promoting gay agenda. I'm like, I would date a guy or a girl. I don't care. I don't think that matters, but yeah. Anyway, love you all. Hope you had an amazing day. Peace out.